Hey, good morning, my friends, and welcome to a beautiful, beautiful beach in Southern California. It's Surfside, California, where it is absolutely a gorgeous December morning. I hope you are having a great morning, and I hope you're ready to get ready for some really great fishing because there's a lot of great stuff going on. However, there is a weather warning right now, and I'll get to that a little bit later in the show. You don't want to be wasting your time out where those tuna are a little bit later on in this week and toward the weekend, and I'll get you up to snuff on that because the forecast is not looking good out there in that neck of the woods. I'm talking about Tanner Bank. So really good bluefin tuna fishing continuing. The Pride had some excellent fishing. Down toward Ensenada, we continue to see excellent rock fishing, and down below, a little bit further down the Baja Coast, some really great yellowtail action. All in all, it has been a spectacular, wonderful winter. And of course, it's a great time for me to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope you're spending time with family and friends. You know what time it is on this gorgeous December morning in SoCal. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, glorious. Hey, before I get into today's report, welcome back, everybody. It is truly my pleasure to be back with you all. Thanks for hitting that like button. It means so much to our success. Don't forget, tonight, the Danny Cadota Show live at 6 p.m. from 22nd Street Landing. You'll be able to tune in right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and check out Danny Cadota. He is awesome. He's got so many great memories and stories. He's so versatile and knowledgeable. I can't wait myself to hear another great Danny Cadota Show. We launched our raffle yesterday, and I'll remind you all that if you want information on that, and I can photograph your tickets and send them to you, it's easy. Just send me a text, 657, let's get this right, 657-227-6459. It's right there in case I started to screw you up. Just send me a text. I'll send you the info. And let me thank some guys that jumped on right away. Daryl McCauley, thank you, Daryl. Trevor Benson, Jeff Chi, Nick Ramirez, Jeff Yeomans, Charles Zimmer, and Manny Mercado. I can't thank you all enough for helping out in our efforts south of the border down there in Mexico Lindo. All right, let's start. Speaking of Mexico Lindo, let's start on the other side of the border, and we'll start you down at about 140 miles down below around San Martin Island, where we continue to see some brisk yellowtail action. There's some nice forkies being caught down there. The guys that have operations, pong operations, as well as bigger operations out of San Quintin are really having some excellent yellowtail action, and they're also able to combine with that some wonderful rock fishing. I mean, the rockfish bite down there can be spectacular. A good friend of mine, George Feldman, who helped me the last time we drove down to blackfin sport fishing in Ensenada, carry down copious amounts of clothing and so much more for some of the people down there. George says he loves fishing in that area, and so do I. I love San Quintin. And boy, I've got to tell you, there is some outstanding surf fishing down there also. There's a playa called Playa Socorro, as well as many, many other areas, but the barred perch fishing can be off the hook. But good yellow action, good rock fishing, getting you up to Ensenada, which is 60 miles down below the border, and we continue to see some really good rockfish, sheep's head, whitefish, treefish, all kinds of bottom grabbers down there, providing great action and wonderful table fare for the people who are making the drive down south of the border. It has been excellent at Blackfin, at Arnie Sport Fishing, at Costa Baja Sport Fishing. It's such a lovely time to be down in Mexico, and the bite has been excellent. Make sure you bundle up. A friend of mine, Bob Gifford, said, hey, how do I dress if I'm going down there? And you do it what I do. You dress in layers, okay? So you can peel something off during the daytime when it gets a little warm, and you can put and bundle up when it gets a little cold, as it's more than likely to do during this time of the year. Great weather right now. It is absolutely beautiful down there and really good fishing. Now, that is not to say there's not occasional yellowtail and some big bonita being taken also around Todos Santos Island, as well as the Punta Banda area. And, you know, the guys from Blackfin go down to Soledad Reef. Besides those big lings moving up in the shallows, sometimes they'll get some really good yo-yo iron yellowtail action. So all of that is something you'll want to keep in mind, and we'll continue to monitor that for you very, very closely. So south of the border, mostly rockfish with some good yellowtail action down there in the area of San Martin Island, and high hopes that our weather is going to stay nice. It looks good for the next few days for sure along the coast. It shouldn't be a problem at all. All right, time to go out to Tanner Bank where the bite remains excellent. The Pride out right now with another great trip. They just continue to hammer out some good catches, and the Freedom is going tonight. Last trip for Trevor and their great crew, Blair, and I mean all the guys, Gary. That Freedom crew is outstanding. They're going tonight. Last time they were out, they had 50 bluefin tuna. Really excellent fishing for them. Water temperatures down to about 59 degrees, kind of chilly for those little bluefin tuna. But they are continuing to bite in that scenario. So that's great news. Now, the Freedom is going to try to have live squid for you. The bluefin tuna have been all over that bait. That has been super effective. And also sardines, obviously. Everybody's carrying that. San Diego-based boats, LA Orange County-based boats. Those guys are all doing really well fishing both those baits. You can get away with a little heavier fluorocarbon when you're fishing with a live squid or the fresh dead squid for that matter. Sliding egg sinker, about a ½ ounce, and a 1/0 size hook, and sometimes 40, even 60 pound will get a bite. Other times in that cooler water they get finicky, especially when you're fishing the sardine, when you have to drop down to 20-pound fluoro sometimes, and a number 4 size hook. Keep that in mind. www.opsonusa.com. That is our fluorocarbon of choice, and make sure you put in FA, Friedman Adventures, at checkout, and you'll get a love note as well as a free gift from owner Greg Brown, who's a spectacular human being. I love Greg. So keep that in mind. Fish that fluoro. Remember, you're going to have to drop down to the lighter stuff when you're fishing the Dean. Most of the time you get a bite on the heavier stuff when fishing the squid if you have it. And please get in tune with your deckhand on deck, because they were out there the day before. They know what they're looking at. They can see when things are changing. They can see when the fish are going to bite the heavy. They can see when you got to go to the lighter line. Keep that all in mind. And speaking of getting a bite on these bluefin tuna, I highly recommend you go back and look at the live show Brian Wynn did, as he has the 5 most important things he learned during this year, and you can apply them if you're jumping on the Freedom tonight. The 5 most important things he learned this year about how to catch more fish. And he has some spectacular tips for you also. Please keep that in mind. Go back, watch that show before you go. Watch it at the landing tonight, wherever it is you find yourself. And I guarantee that will help you a great deal. Now, I told you up front that we're going to have some weather problems out there on Tanner Bank, and that is definitely starting to creep up on us right now. We are seeing some very windy conditions. Now, it's breezy out there right now, and then it's going to go back tomorrow to some really lovely weather. So if you're on board the Freedom or the Pride or any boat, somebody's going to get out of San Diego and run, you are going to be in really, really good shape here. But Saturday night, the wind really starts to come up, and it becomes to the point where it's dangerous and unfishable out there on Tanner Bank. So out there behind San Clemente Island on the Tanner Bank region. Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Some lovely people walking by here. It's going to get really, really, really nasty out there on Tanner Bank. It's absolutely, if you're a private boater, you want no part of it. If you're jumping on a sport boat, more likely they don't want any part of it, because it's just going to be miserable, and trying to catch a bluefin in those kinds of conditions is going to be very, very nasty. So yes, we will get a subsequent drop in water temperature. How much more water temp can go down before those bluefin quit biting or move out of here? I'm not sure, because every single time we get weather, we get wind, we think it's the end of the season. It's not the end of the season. They just keep biting it. Some really veteran captains have told me as long as that squid is there on Tanner, those fish aren't going anywhere. They got a McDonald's open. They got all the feed they want there. So once again, we'll have to just see what happens after this weekend. Definitely want to jump on the Friedman tonight if they still have room. Definitely want to get out as soon as possible, especially before Saturday evening starts to blow up, and then that goes into Monday, and then we go back to a nice weather scenario after that. We'll just have to see where that all takes us. Fingers crossed that that's going to continue to bite. Incidentally, I should tell you that in most of these trips, you either have fishing that's so good on the bluefin tuna you're able to go rock fishing, or you get a lull during the day and you're able to go rock fishing. So it's kind of a combo trip, amazing combo trip, where you catch a nice big rockfish and bluefin tuna on the very same trip in Southern California in December. How can it get any better than that, I ask you? Hey, by the way, Santa Ana River Lakes. Isaac Parcells, he is a great member of the Friedman Adventures family. He said, hey, they're having a toy drive out there at Santa Ana River Lakes. Do you mind mentioning it? I do not. They're having that toy drive. And also Long Beach Sport Fishing, that's Berth 55. Nick Ramirez, great guy. Nick is always out there fishing hard and enjoying the sport, reaching out to help others. So doesn't surprise me that he's going to be at Berth 55 on Friday supporting a toy drive that they're doing. All of these efforts on the part of sport fishermen, we support everybody doing this stuff. It is absolutely the time of the year to do those kinds of things. And once again, our raffle, that goes to support what we're doing on the other side of the border. Some people are doing stuff here on this side of the border. That's fantastic, helping our military, doing so much. We're doing stuff on the other side of the border where the safety net is non-existent. There is no safety net. In my history of living and teaching in Costa Rica for a year in the missions and a couple of years in Mexico in the missions, kind of leads me to that direction. As long as you're helping somebody somewhere, it's a great thing, and I deeply appreciate all of your help. One more time, 657-227-6459. Speaking of Long Beach sport fishing, I'm kind of getting out of order here, but what the heck. The El Dorado was just at San Nicolas Island for spectacular fishing and absolutely gorgeous weather. They're out there again. They're catching sheepshead and whitefish and rockfish and lingcod. Just excellent fishing going on at San Nicolas. So if you're headed that way, or you're just thinking, man, I ought to charter the Amigo and go over there and do my thing, I highly recommend you do it. It is so much fun and such great fishing. All right, I kind of screwed up the order. Let's go back across the border. We've covered San Martin Island. Ensenada, there's some yellows, but mostly rockfish at Todos Santos. Coronado Islands, mostly rockfish, occasional bonita, yellowtail there also, but not all that much. Clemente, most guys are back there fishing Tanner, but they may be into Clemente catching a couple yellows, a few bass, mostly rockfish. Catalina, some good bonita with rockfish. Santa Barbara Island, yachts, and this applies to Cat also, are catching some white sea bass and also catching a few halibut, but mostly rockfish. And then Channel Islands, great lingcod and excellent bottom fishing, with an occasional sea bass also, but not all that much. Mostly emphasis on rockfish all the way up to Santa Barbara, where they continue to have great fishing on the Coral Sea and other boats up there. And then Morro Bay, excellent rock fishing going on along the coastal areas. I'm talking half-day fishing now and that kind of a thing. We are seeing some really excellent rock fishing going on. Couple of bass here and there up and down our lovely coast, even down there south of the border, but mostly rockfish. And then more barred perch starting to bite as the water temps are coming down here at the water tower. We've had some good yellowfin croaker fishing. I keep saying I should look at that water today. Look at how calm. God almighty, is that beautiful, huh? Man, right there. See that wave? Toss that chrome crocodile 3/4 ounce right behind it, and then come through that right there, as that is going to get all those sand crabs and stuff up, and those fish stage behind it and move in to bite it. Oh my God, what am I doing? Oh, I'm doing the morning briefing, of course, for all of you. I'm going to have to hit this really, really soon. By the way, Paul Burbank going into surgery this morning. Paul, great visiting with you and your lovely family yesterday. I send you all my love for a successful day today. Eddie Leland, Captain Eddie Leland. Man, I'll tell you what, I visited with Eddie yesterday also, and in his battle with cancer, I'll tell you, he's looking really good. He is doing so great right now and continues to battle. It's still very, very difficult, folks, so all of your thoughts and prayers for those guys are deeply appreciated. They both need your thoughts and prayers, and I'm thinking they're going to be just fine with all of that. All right, there you have it, everybody. Another gorgeous morning here. I know I look back there. I can't look back there during the morning briefing. I get distracted. I start thinking about catching yellowfin croaker and halibut and spotfin croaker and all of that. So I'll pay attention from now on. I promise you all that. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget tonight the Danny Cadota Show. Danny is fantastic. Can't wait to be there with him tonight. Should be a lot of fun. And please remember, join in on our great raffle. First prize is a 2-day trip on board the Apollo with Friedman Adventures. Alexa 400 Daiwa reel is second. And then we've got another great gift in there for you all. Please, 657. Man, what's up with me and the phone number today? 657-227-6459. If I screwed that up, by the way, just read right there, because for some reason my brain is not functioning 100%. Gorgeous morning. Wonderful to be with you all. Can't thank you all enough for making Friedman Adventures numero uno. And more than anything, I hope to see you really, really soon. Happy holidays, my friends. So all those wonderful people who were here helped us to get this all fixed up and organized. Man, I am so stoked. We've got so many great items that now we need to transport to Mexico. That's another whole big pain in the neck, but it's so worth it when you see people's faces and see the joy that all of you who've given us so much great stuff. And it's all great stuff. I mean, if we find anything that is not up to par, we toss it. And there's very little of that went on. So thank you, thank you, thank you very, very much. Couldn't have done it without Greg Bates. He's been here every step of the way. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
And Joe Gallagher, Joey Gallagher, Megan, everybody here at Gallagher Staging. Man, I'll tell you, these are people who are making the world a better, better, better place. And my friendship with Joe and Joey and all of the Gallaghers goes back so many years. They've always been there for me, and they continue to do it time in and time out. Can't thank them enough.